Hello, I'm Jennifer, this is Unearthed, and in today's video I'm going to be showing off some of my recent vintage thrifted treasures and some of the crafts that I've created. The cool thing about some of today's finds is that things were only a dime. So for those who watched last week's video, you'll know that I stopped at a garage sale and found a whole bunch of these little hanging pieces, like crafting pieces that were just a dime. And while I was out thrifting this week, I found more things that were literally just a dime. So I'm kind of amazed at this day and age when everything costs more than, a dollar. Even the Dollar Tree or dollar store, things are more than $1. So I'm super excited about the fact that I found some things that were pretty cheap. First off, I had my eyes on a sale that had been advertised a couple weeks ago, an estate sale. It was actually a party planning company that was going out of business, and the thing that caught my eye was a whole bunch of vintage thermoses. And I had just a little bit of hope that maybe on the second day of the sale, a little bit later in the day, that there might be one or two that were left in the mix. And I was delighted to find that there was just one, a little bit worse for wear, but I have a couple of these already and I love them. This is actually one of my most favorite designs of thermos. This one's a little bit rusty crusty and all that, but I think it'll still look cool. Some sides are better than others, so that was a great treasure. And I think they only charged me $3 for it, so it was a pretty great deal. I probably would have paid more at the Goodwill because they are a little bit heavier. So let's see, what else did I get from there? I got a bag of fabric, and I just assumed it was probably decor, maybe putting on a like bunting or something like that. I think that's going to be great for some junk journaling. I also came across two Nancy Drew books, older Nancy Drew books, and I'm working on a project that I'm hoping to show off a little bit later, which is a Nancy Drew junk journal. So stay tuned for more on that and to see that in a future video, but I was excited to find a couple more of the older style Nancy Drew books. I got some Halloween banners. They're not vintage, but they kind of have a cool, fun, vintagey sort of look. So on the way down to the estate sale, I had actually come across a sign for a community sale that was happening. Unbeknownst to me, it was apparently like every neighborhood on the south side of Indianapolis's community garage sale that day. But because it was so late, I assumed that most of them were probably wrapping up. In any case, I popped into this neighborhood because I could tell that one on the end was still running. And I did manage to find a couple goodies that were also really, really cheap and amazing. So I got this great canister set for $1.50. The big one was just $1, and the little one, actually it might have only been $1.25. It might have been 25 cents on the little one. They were a little bit grimy. I think they'd actually been up above a stove. So I cleaned those up and now they're beautiful and ready to go for storing something. I also got these cute Halloween postcards. They're not really vintage, but kind of have a vintagey vibe sort of to them, as well as this cute little Halloween crepe paper, which I think will make cute skirts for little paper doll kinds of vignettes a little bit later in the year. That one was only a dime as well, so there you go. And then I headed over to the Goodwill outlet for real. I came across a whole bunch of pieces. I don't know how else to describe it, like metal and wooden pieces, like architectural salvage kind of stuff. So some really cool, I would assume maybe that was like off a piece of furniture. And then lots of things that were like drawer pulls and door plates or curtain ties. So it was amazing. Obviously, when you pay by the pound, metal stuff is not the thing you are most inclined to get, but this was just such a cool set of things, and literally unearthed relics that I'm gonna have some fun doing some crafting with here in just a little bit. Those out of the way. I got this lovely little, I'm guessing donkey. He's just precious. It looks like maybe it was like with a salt and pepper shaker, so like a salt and pepper shaker would have gone on either side of him. That's my guess. One of the little hooky horny things is broken off, but other than that, he was in really great shape. again, being down in a bin where stuff's getting thrown all over the place, kind of miraculous, but he's awesome and fabulous. There were a whole bunch of old vintage games, and the one that I ended up kind of grabbing because it was most intact and kind of in best shape was a 1950s version of Sorry. It was really dusty and kind of gross, but it cleaned up really nicely, and I think I'll be able to use that. I had also forgotten to mention this. I got this game of Rook at the estate sale that I had went to as well. I also found a couple puzzles. I found this awesome vintage globe, cute little pumpkin. On the game theme again, I've got this cute little bag from a Winnie the Pooh game. The game itself was kind of gross, and I tried cleaning a little piece of it while there was a rotation, and I couldn't figure out a way that I was going to be able to get that clean. That being said, the little pieces were so cute. There was like a little Pooh, and I don't know what the little rabbit's name is, a little piglet and a little Christopher Robin. So yeah, that was kind of cute. So I salvaged those pieces of that and some pieces from a older game of Clue, which I think are fun for junk journaling as well. And glue stick, because I'm doing my No New Year, where I am trying my best not to buy new things, only used, but some things like consumable types of things like glue were one of the things I had kind of put on my exception list. That being said, I have actually been really successful in finding glue sticks just about every time I go to the Goodwill outlet. I always test them to make sure that they are still functioning, because a lot of times you find the dried up ones. So I found a good giant size glue stick this time around, and some fun old wrapping paper. I loved that piece. Some of them were just kind of more, I don't know, just more modern, but this one definitely has a fun vintage vibe to it. So I'm looking forward to being able to use that in some crafting. Never pass on doilies when I find them, because they are practically free because they are so light. And a couple gift bags, which I can either use as gift bags or maybe use in collages as well. The other thing that I found at the Goodwill outlet was literally a dime. So this is not the first time that I have found money in a bin, but I think because today's video is thrifting on a dime, I'm literally getting a dime, probably for less than a dime, in my most recent Goodwill outlet thrift. So thank you for joining me today, and let's get to crafting. you.